ra bo chai ma wo ran de da kai ka ne a lai ke dan cho nai ka moi pho roi ke cho nai ka moi a ling han pe ka ku nai ba a ning nam pe nga ngo nai ba ni 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 ngai nai 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 wa wai ke dan ya na bang bang we ding 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 wo ran de di ga chang a ling da pa han pe ngai ba do nai ke ta cho na mo ngai a pai ke ta cho na mo a lai ke wang ya na bang wai a ling wa wai ke ta cho na nai bang wa mai ke ta kang me kang ke đi chỉ năng ai yang hoa sky cổ nan nê đang hoa ba gì tôi trong nhà ga sky cổ nan nê đang mai đi cổ ở bên đang có ba sa na đó mày đi 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 em một lúc hàng đi qua gió mang tăng ngàn nên khi càng khi ngà tung lên ma đô ngô cổ nan nê đó hàng ngang này đi 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 đó.
Okay, I'm recording for a while. So focus, lots of focus.
Okay, hang on.
And just be real, you know?
Yeah, what are you gonna ask me first?
I know, we'll figure this out. You know, it's not easy to do an interview after a heavy lunch.
Oh no.
It's the first time usually I do it like 10 in the morning when, you know. Now I had like a huge plate of traditional Peruvian food.
Oh,
which
God.
is great.
Wow.
Well, it's my daughter's birthday, so, you know. And you came late, so what I do.
Is this part of the recording already?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
right there.
we're already putting.
It's right there.
So I was late.
Yeah, okay.
This is starting off well for me.
Alright, well, I'll try to put my thoughts together here. Alright, well, I will introduce you. That's, I don't know how to introduce you. After spending with us 6 months.
I don't even know my name anymore,
Yeah.
so it's fine.
Okay, that's Kristina. Are you still Wild?
Kristina Wild.
Alright, that's Kristina
For
Wild.
sure.
She stayed with us for like 6.5 months with about 80 ceremonies. Nobody beat that record yet. So, alright. Then she was away for 6 months, something like that. And here we are wrapping up the year. Yeah?
Yeah.
What a year.
This is actually the day before my first ceremony last year. It was December 15th.
Yeah. You arrived today, I think.
I think so.
You arrived 14 with drunk 15.
I think so, yeah.
So it's like 1 year exactly
Oh my gosh.
here. Alright,
In
so
Peru.
how was it for you?
It's this year. Oh my gosh. I mean, first of all, I think it's amazing how in these most unprecedented of times, as is the buzzword of the pandemic, I feel like I've had the most unprecedented year of my life, but in a positive way. I never, finding plant medicine was something I never could have planned for, and it's really funny because I've always been kind of a planner and really trying to figure out my life, trying to figure out my path and find my purpose, and really, trying all these different things to uncover more about who I am. And this path was one that sort of found me, and I started to unravel and show me, like, I want to show you who you are, and it's almost like I spent the first 34 years of my life trying so hard to figure out my life, to figure out myself. And this past year, I've gotten to step back and just allow the discovery to happen, if that makes sense. It's been a lot more embodiment, it's been a lot more, just discovery, and a lot of magic in there. And what Huachuma as my primary teacher has been an incredible guide. Yeah.
Man, the structure is so frustrating outside.
Welcome to Peru, everyone. Here we are.
I'm just thinking to go to talk to him, but I don't think we can stop it.
I don't think it's so audible, is it?
We'll hear it probably. But it's okay, we'll have to go.
Our words are just more charismatic than the tractor.
Yeah, but still for a background, I like when it's quiet.
Yeah.
But
Should I share a little bit about a bit more about how it all came to be?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like how you came to
Yeah.
it.
Well, I just want to share. The first time I drank plant medicine was 2019, And this was after I had felt a call to Peru in my heart for most of that year that I didn't really understand. And I was never planning to drink plant medicine. That wasn't really my intention. Ayahuasca had been on my radar for a while. Like, that call had been there, but it wasn't strong enough that I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to Peru, go to the jungle, drink ayahuasca. I just felt in 2019 that I needed to be in Peru. And it's funny because my mind resisted it. My mind was trying to put me back on the normal track I was on. I was working in online business and living in Thailand, and so I went back to Thailand. And the first night back in Thailand, I had this dream, and it just basically told me, like, you're going to Peru, book your ticket. You know, you went the wrong way around the world. It's okay, but you're going to Peru. You're not going to avoid this. There's something there for you. So I listened, and you know, it was just kind of crazy at the time, but I booked a ticket back to Peru. And I think I was in Peru for about a month, and then I felt called to explore plant medicine. And yeah, Huachuma came on my radar, and funny enough, I was looking up Huachuma Wasi, but there's another Huachuma Wasi. I found your website, and by accident. So it's like everything about my plant medicine journey has sort of happened accidentally. Like, nothing that I tried to make work out actually worked out. It was what was supposed to be. So then I found you, and I think that year I drank in 6 ceremonies over a couple of months, and that was my first experience with plant medicine, and that was really beautiful because I had that with me, and I left Peru to go to Bali, and then of course that was March 2020 and the pandemic unfolded, but I had this first experience of Huachuma in my heart, in my spirit, and I feel like it was with me throughout the 2020, the pandemic. I was back in the US, and there was just this, like, I felt different, and it's hard to say was that because of the Huachuma, but I felt this real groundedness and this
Of course, because of Huachuma.
Of course, everything's because of Huachuma.
Obviously.
It couldn't have been that I just happened to grow in new ways on my own.
No. So
it was, 2020 was actually a great year for me because I felt so grounded. I had stopped traveling, I was a nomad for so long. For 10 years, I was moving around the world, and 2020 really, really grounded me. And I do believe that plant medicine experiences I had gave me a lot to work with. Like, I spent a lot of the pandemic just out in nature with myself, writing and contemplating and creating. And then at the end of 2020, opportunity opened up to come back to Peru. Won't get into the whole Mexico debacle before that, but once the door opened, I came back here, and I just stayed. I thought I was coming back for like a month, and I stayed for 6.5 months, like at Sergey's place, which was never the plan. But his family welcomed me with open heart, and I really endeavored down that medicine journey pretty hard, pretty beautifully, I should say.
So, how do you feel today?
I honestly feel like I know myself more than I have before. I feel a level of self-awareness that was missing in past years, because this journey just puts you so deeply in touch with yourself. It's such a mirror. You're constantly, for me at least, I'll own it, like I'm constantly seeing myself in new lights and new perspectives, and that carries over outside of the medicine. You know, for me, the integration has been a huge, if not like biggest part of all of this, is taking everything that I've seen and felt and weaving that into my life so that I'm maintaining that level of self-awareness. So for example, I feel like now I'm more easily able to see my, mind-based tendencies, or the tendency to kind of spin out, or different beliefs that don't support me. Like, I'm able to see where I'm getting out of alignment and bring myself back. Or if I don't bring myself back, I take responsibility for that in a way that maybe in the past I would feel more like a victim, or look to change my external circumstances, which I've learned, like medicine work has really showed me, that improving our life and making shifts is not about necessarily just shifting the external. That can be a piece for sure. You know, when I was back in Portland this summer, I was in a very different situation than I am in Peru. So shifting that environment to return to Peru has been supportive while I'm still in this like crystallization process of this, you know, new version of myself, I suppose. But it's really making the shifts on the inside. That's when we see the results on the outside, you know. And I think in many ways we live in a society that perpetuates this idea that when we change the outside that we'll be happier, you know, when we have the next thing, when we have the bigger house, when we have the promotion, we have the job, you know, like we have some construct to cling on to out there. It's going to make us feel the way we want to feel, but it's not true.
Yeah.
That's not it.
That's exactly the illusion.
Yeah.
It's the next thing.
Yeah.
It's the next phone.
Yeah.
It's the next car.
Yeah.
And
and I've even, like, for me, I've even taken that literally into the medicine path where I've realized it's not the next medicine experience that's going to make me happy. So, for example, in November, I was planning to go to the jungle to do my first dieta, and I felt, actually, even after making the deposit, I felt like about a week before, I was like, I'm doing what I've always done, which is looking for the next shift in the next thing. And I realized I don't need more medicine right now. I need actually to sit with myself. So I took 3 weeks away from medicine, and I sat with myself, and I just did my life, you know, and that's actually what I needed. And that's more of the direction of where I want to be going with all of this, is like needing less of the outside, and then, you know, then moving into the external world, using the tools, using medicine, using whatever else when we know we need it, but not just shifting to that default of the next thing, you know, the next plant diet, the next yoga teacher training. I also was like, I need to go to India and do my yoga training. It's like, no, I can help people with yoga now with the trainings I have. And yeah, so that's been a big shift. I'm still working on that shift. It's not, I still fall into that trap a lot, but I think it's an important one collectively as well, because when people realize they can resource themselves from the inside, there's a lot of markets that may collapse, commercial markets, you know.
Well, the real change is internal.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you are and what you have. It's really internal.
Yeah.
Your inner world.
Yeah.
That is changing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's why it's important to kind of do pause and just to learn to sit with yourself, to be with yourself, and contemplate your previous experiences and integrate them into your life with just remembrance. You know, all of it's just remembering what your experiences were.
Yeah.
You know, and you just kind of live with it.
Yeah.
That's how it was for me when I was coming from Peru. When I was living in California still. I was coming to Peru for 3.5 years to work with Howard. And each time it was incredibly profound and beautiful, and then I was going home and I was living that memories that I was creating here, you know. Doing my things, doing work, you know, all the life stuff, you know. But those experiences that I had here, they were kind of new base of reference. So I was referring to them emotionally, you know. It wasn't really intellectually. Of course, we had a lot of conversations and insights, and we talked about a lot of things, and that was very helpful for sure. But even more so, it was just the emotional memory that I had during those ceremonies and time spent in Peru, and that was my flotation tank. I don't know. I was just floating in it like. You know, it was keeping me through, you know, moving through time with this experience that was kind of growing in me to the point when I felt like, you know, it was time to move to Peru and serve the medicine, you know?
Yeah.
But that's how integration went for me.
Yeah.
It's not like a specific thing. It's not like a circle we sit together and talk. That's you can do this too, of course. But it was just like kind of on-job training, you know. You just go
Yeah.
back and you live with all your experiences and you integrate them into your life, you know. It's kind of natural flow, like a natural process.
Yeah.
And somehow they accumulate, you know.
Yeah.
You just, all you do here accumulates, and then it just becomes something that you can't even put a finger on. You can't even say like, oh, you know, I understood this and this and this. Of course, you have the insights. There are insights, but it's more like something more elusive for me. It was something I couldn't even, you know, name.
Yeah.
I couldn't name what happened to me in Peru over
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
I knew what happened to me in Peru, you know, on an
Yeah.
emotional level, and it was very profound. It was life changing. I knew that that is going to change me in my life, and that's the change I want. But you can't just put a finger. What exactly changed in you? You
Yeah.
know, it's the way you feel to be you. That was changed. You know, and it's a gradual process.
Yeah.
So it's just
It's embodied change.
that's like a real energetic change, and it's like it's everything. It's inclusive. It's your behaviors. It's your thinking. It's your reactions. It's how you are. How you are with yourself. How you are with people. How you are with the world. That's what changes. You know.
I agree.
And it's unique to every person. You know. It's what you were. It's the difference between what you were and what you are, and that's different from other people. It's not like one change for everybody.
Yeah.
It's like if you were too anxious and too active, well, you might be more calm. You know, if you were too calm, you might become more active. You know what I mean? It's like
it's like bringing people into balance. It kind of
Yeah,
brings
your
you
balance.
into your own balance.
to your balance,
Yeah.
like what you need to be living your life fully. The
Yeah.
medicine can help you with that. So that's why it's different for different people, because people are different.
Yeah.
You know, it would be strange if everybody would becoming the same thing. It's like,
Yeah.
but where is the individuality here? Where is the,
Of course.
you know, personal approach,
Yeah.
which medicine have, you know?
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of changes in myself, looking so much that it's so dramatic.
Yeah.
It's like to the point that like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like, what? That's not even me anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
And
like
that's-
completely.
yeah.
It's not even me anymore. Who was the guy 15 years ago? I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know that guy anymore. You know, I remember him.
Yeah.
He was me, but he was just immature, you know, immature spiritual seeker, you know, sincere, always sincere, but misguided, you know.
Yeah.
And it was a long journey to come to senses.
Yeah.
You know, like today I'm 45, today I can say that, you know, I just stopped being stupid. Recently.
That's a pretty good shift.
That's a big shift, you know.
You're right, though.
It's like a
it's different.
half of the journey already lived, you
Yeah.
know, no more. It just takes time to change, you know. what I mean?
Yeah.
But when the change happens, it happens.
Makes me
And it's
very
real.
curious what more years will bring, you know, because
Well, you will be in 10 years, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And with the medicines, it's accelerated path.
yeah,
You know, it's hard to put a number on it. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you
what
can't
is it
really
like
define it.
in terms of, you know, how many years would take you otherwise to work on yourself to be that?
yeah,
Lifetimes. I
Yeah.
mean, with the medicine, it's like it's all happening in the same lifetime. And that's the whole thing. That's why I was strongly feeling this when I started working with Huachuma. I was strongly feeling this, that everything has to happen in this lifetime for me. It's not in the future. It's like whatever I have to understand, whatever I have to become, has to be now in this lifetime, you know?
yeah,
That's why, because, you know, I'm coming from Eastern traditions and fourth way, and, you know, all the spiritual baggage that I brought to the medicine, which is a good thing because it gives me a certain framework where I put
Yeah.
medicine in. But it also comes with that, you know, kind of reincarnation and next lifetime, which I never was a part, never related to it emotionally, but still it's kind of there embedded, ingrained. So for me, I realized that whatever has to be done this time around in this body, being me, and that's really, this feeling just only grew stronger over the years, it's like only stronger.
Yeah. I think that's the process of self-actualization, and it is about this life. And I think people who, kind of have a focus on the reincarnation, this role in comparison to their other lives, like it can sometimes be a bit of a spiritual bypass because, we are
you delay the change, you delay the work.
Yeah, like the work is to be done here and to do the best we can with it, and it's like not to put all this pressure on ourselves, but to it. Like I agree with you. I think that having that mindset and that heart set can help you just stay really present and live your life, live every moment, grow as much as you can now, because this is what we have, and there's something else. Like people have different beliefs around that, and like that's beautiful. Like I do believe there's something else, but I'm also with you. This is the life to actualize ourselves. This is the life that we are ourselves. Like whatever we are after this, we're not this.
You're not this, exactly.
I'm not
right.
Kristina, you're not Sergey. Like it's.
This is it. That's what I came out from my near-death experience in Mexico. I had a peyote initiation, and been between life and death for 3 days. Actually struggling for life, That's what I came up with,
Yeah.
So I came with that. Came through this experience with this,
Yeah.
with the complete. I don't even know what to say. It's like, ciao, ciao. Hasta luego. With a complete sense of grounding into this life and the importance of living it now, and understanding that what's important is to live your life before death. This is what it is. What happens after it's actually not important. And if something happens after, it will depend on what happened before. So if you want to, it's like to say it in a different way. If you were a pig here, you're not going to be an eagle. It just can't be. It just can't be. If you were a pig, you will be a pig there. You know what I mean? It's just, you define your future here and then, if there is afterlife. Let's say there is afterlife, and we believe that for a moment. You define that, but you define it here. It's like what you are here will define it there. It's the same way like you define your future here by living your present. Things don't just change overnight. You make things change. You're building your future in the present moment. So
I do agree with that.
by working on yourself,
or some kind of
shaping yourself,
it's
like you becoming you by striving towards self-realization and self-empowerment, self-improvement, whatever name you want to call it.
I think that's why like working with medicine really can help wake people up to, and that's what we say, like wakes you up from the sleep that you've been in, because for some reason it's very easy for people to sleep their way through this life, and whether or not that's contingent on any beliefs around an afterlife, a lot of people are just going through the motions, and
without self-awareness.
Right, and whether that's maybe an ingrained belief they have that this is all there is, that they're in a paradigm that was created for them, and it might be not be something they're creating or that they're growing in, but that's just all that they know of life. I think, plant medicine can be a tool to really understand the creative role that you can play in your life and open up your mind to new possibilities. And once you do, but I think people have to be ready, because once you see that, it's very hard to go back to a life where you're asleep.
Why would you go there?
Exactly.
Anyways?
Well,
it's very boring.
It can be difficult because I think a lot of people maybe don't want to wake up. They don't want to see that the life that they're in is not right for them in some ways. But I think once they do have that opening, it creates opportunity that they can shift it.
That's exactly right. And the fear of not wanting to change, I think, rooted in I think that's how it works. Like on some subconscious level, people do understand or feel that life has to change if they do certain things, and that creates fear. Whether would you like your life afterward? You know, it's like if I wake up, would I like the life I create or will have to embrace? So there is kind of fear there, like subconscious. You might not even realize that, but like, okay, I'm doing what I'm doing, and maybe it's not the best, but at least I know what I'm doing, and you know, because awakening, it's a total shattering, it's a little shaking. It just shakes you out.
Yeah.
Your sleep. It's just, you know, it's like birth.
Yeah.
Like when you get out of your mother, but consciously this time. You know. So it's a dramatic process in a sense. You know. So the fear of being awakened is understandable. But then on the other side, what do you prefer? Do you want to live a life of adventure and passion and joy and energy and force and excitement, or you just want to be, you know,
going through the motions?
And that's it, pretty much.
I think that's the journey people
like everybody
take.
else.
Yeah, I think that's the journey they take, is from that, oftentimes from that to embracing the spectrum. Because the thing about, once you wake up and once you start to activate these parts of yourself that have been dormant, it's a whole journey. Like, it's the passion, the adventure, it's the ups, but it's also, you're gonna feel more. You're gonna feel and it's, sometimes there's darkness there. You're gonna look at your darkness. You know, a lot of times when we start to awaken, we
see both sides.
We remember, past traumas, or when we open our hearts, just even in terms of like relationships and relating with ourselves and others. When you move through the world with walls up, like, sure, you're not going to get hurt, but you're probably not going to experience the depth of love and beauty and intimacy. So when we open our hearts with which Huachuma really does, you're going to feel more in life. You're going to feel more pain when you see, a hungry child or a dog on the side of the road. You're going to feel more joy when you connect, with the mountains and the sky, and there'll be, you might experience more intense suffering for others. You might feel more empathy, and that's not always going to feel good, but it's going to feel real. It's going to feel like life, So this is what I think, like, waking up is realizing we are feeling like for the collective in a way. There's so much depth to our human soul and our human experience that's possible. It's just like, and that's when you stop needing to look outside and chase things for stimulation, because you're like, does that make sense? Did you ever feel that as well? Like, do you ever start to,
of course.
like
Huachuma is, when I had it first time, for the very first time, I couldn't believe it's even real, even though I knew it somehow. I knew this experience for the first time, but at the same time it was totally overwhelming with all these feelings and insights and beauty. I was like, my God, wow! I mean, you just awake. You just awaken in the world of beauty, and you just sit there. That was in the jungle. And with all these birds and everything. You just sit there and you just cry. Just cry from being overwhelmed with emotion and beauty, And I'm not easily, getting tears.
I can't imagine you cry. I don't know if I've seen you cry.
I was growing, always, my father always taught me, you never cry, to be strong, to be man, the martial arts, you can't cry. It's a sign of weakness, That's the background. That's and it's also maybe cultural, too, but it certainly was in my family. It's like, men don't cry, period. That's for the woman, So, when you drink Huachuma, it's... Especially being now I know, it's different, but in the beginning it was like, my God, I mean, you cry, you just sit there, your tears just going down. It's not like you like, wow, it's not like that.
No, it's not.
You just sit there. It's not. You just sit there and tears are coming down your face. And you're like, man, You know?
Yeah.
Is it raining or something?
Yeah.
like-
It's raining
like-
on the inside.
it's raining from the inside, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. Just so much feeling, so much, you're overwhelmed with feelings,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's incredible. That's the awakening of the heart. It's a
Yeah.
heart medicine. It wakes you up. So you start feeling your life, feeling yourself, feeling people. And tremendous amount of healing comes through this, you know, over the
Yeah.
years that's what it is. So it's that's why I came up with this, it just naturally kind of came, you know, healing is feeling.
Oh yeah.
And feeling is healing.
Yeah.
That's really true,
Yeah.
especially with Huachuma, you know. It's how it works.
Yeah.
Makes you feel, it awakens you to yourself, to your life. You start feeling your life other than thinking about being
Yeah.
alive. You
Yeah.
know, other than, you know, instead of trying to figure out your life, you start
That was me.
living
Yeah.
your life.
Yeah.
Or you know, instead of figuring out your relationship, you actually feeling your relationship. Everything, any aspect of your life,
Yeah.
you feel this thing.
Yeah. Decisions you want to make.
You
Ask your
feel
body.
it.
You feel
Just
where.
you feel it in your body.
Yeah.
Is it good for me? You know, it's not through the head. It's like a processing.
Yeah.
The process itself, the process of processing changes
Yeah.
from your head to your heart.
Yeah.
You know, you process information differently.
Yeah.
It's like you just go down from head to the heart,
Yeah.
and everything's like based in the heart chakra, in the heart chakra.
I
You know?
agree.
So that's what Huachuma does.
That's been a big shift. Like, yeah, and I'd say for me it wasn't. It wasn't immediate. Like, I still could get caught in the old pattern, but this is where the integration happens, you know. And but yeah, like that exact process was probably like the biggest part of my whole process over the 6 months, and then continuing to now is moving from the head to the heart, and oh yeah, and then I was gonna say, like, I love what you said about the healing is feeling, because I think sometimes this idea of healing can almost, maybe I'll just own this for myself, sometimes it can put people off because we don't always realize that we need healing. We don't, right? When I came to Huachuma Wasi, when I came to drink plant medicine, I wasn't coming with a lot of trauma. I didn't think I'm someone who needs to heal. I came for curiosity, for spiritual awakening, for exploration, but the healing happens, and I think it's what you were saying, the healing, it's like, it's oftentimes not necessarily one big trauma we've experienced in childhood, but it's oftentimes we're just healing from a society that isn't built to support humans thriving in our natural way, which is in the body, which is
Completely.
living in connection with nature, in our intuition, in our hearts. Like, that was the healing. I wouldn't have thought,
That-
oh, I
yeah.
need to heal myself,
Yeah.
but I did.
Yeah, that's a very important point. That's
Yeah.
very important. People don't realize they need healing
Yeah.
because healing, it's, you know, it associates with some kind of mental disorder.
Like you're broken, you're sick.
Yeah, or, you know, depression, broken heart, traumas, and it's all healing too. That happens for sure. The medicine takes care of every aspect. Everything that is in your heart will be brought to surface and work through. You know, but you know, it's just it's one aspect of healing. That's what I'm trying. That's the message
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring across.
Yeah.
There is so much more to healing that people don't realize that it's just incredible. I came to medicine purely out of spiritual quest. Purely, I was like 100% physically, mentally healthy. I was just looking for answers,
Yeah.
you know, for magic, for awakening, you know, for real experience that is beyond words. I want to see what's real, you know, and if the medicine can take me there, you know. But then over the years, I realized that I healed a lot of things in me, which one of them is, you know, just cultural programming.
Yeah.
It's many things that are hidden,
Yeah.
and you don't realize that they need to be healed.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
completely. It's, just,
Yeah.
it's not even there. People are like, oh, I'm not depressed. I don't need medicine.
Yeah.
It's like that's like you know, a fraction of the whole thing. You know, maybe I don't know, 5%.
It's almost like you don't know what you don't know, because maybe you're
Exactly.
not depressed, but are you living your life 100%?
Exactly. There's so much more. It goes so much beyond healing. That it's like that's what I'm saying. Healing is where things start. You know, when people come, I need to bring them back together. I need to put them back together first. You know, we need to connect you to yourself first, so then you can start
I'm thinking about my
experience things. You know, it's not like you can. You know, in order to experience divine realms, you need to be sane first. You need to be centered. You need to be here. You need to be in your head.
Yeah.
You know, if you come all depressed and anxious and scared and all that with all this negative charge in you, the divine is here right now, but you're not. The layer between you and divine is so thick that you just will not receive that. You will not see it. You will not feel it. The layer of ice between your heart and Godhood, the universe, oneness is just so thick. You need to melt it away. You need to heat it up. It has to melt away. Your heart you need to start pulsing again. So you start feeling again, and then you reaching towards divine. It's right there. Divine is not far. It's actually right here. We are far.
Well, it's like in ourselves.
It's
too.
within ourselves.
Yeah.
But the layers that we create over, years living wrong lives. By wrong, I mean, not being aligned with your purpose, not living out of your passion, not living out of your heart. That's what I mean by wrong.
Would you say people, like when they have a wall between themselves and the divine, would you say those people also have had a wall between knowing their true self? Like, is that kind of one and the same? Or do you feel like people first need to come to know themselves and then they come to know the divine? I'm curious, like your thoughts on that.
Yeah, for sure. How you can know divine if you don't know yourself? Who knowing then? Where is the knower? The knower has to be awakened first to know divine.
Yeah.
So it's really, the process is really going within. Connecting to your true self. What is understanding? What is your true self?
Yeah.
So what is beyond your name, beyond your profession, beyond
It's
your...
the divine.
You
Like,
know?
spoiler alert, right? Because for me, when I came
That's where you
into
connect.
intimate contact with my true nature, I realized that is the oneness. That is the divine within me. Like, this feeling of, like, I'm the one I've been looking for.
Yeah.
I'm the one to, with my own answers. I'm the, it's hard to explain, but there was something there, and having a connection, of course, with the divine realms. It's not just about me. Like, I'm not here in honoring the sacred me. I'm like honoring the sacred of nature, the life force that we don't understand. The great mystery, but knowing I am an intricate part of it, an integral part of it, and it's all connected. So I think that, like, this medicine has really helped me have a new understanding and like intimate relationship with the sacred that's continually evolving. It's continually surprising me, and it's a continuous game. It's a beautiful divine game unfolding, every day. And I think that's what life wants for us. I think life wants for us to keep discovering, ourselves and others, and we're all here together on this earth, to play and know each other and be mirrors for one another and see, the divine in each other, in our beingness,
And remembering
eyes.
that within yourself.
Yeah.
How you can be depressed if you remember that you are part of the whole thing. The depression is the result of disconnectedness. When you disconnected from your true self, which is the bridge between you and divine, then of course you get depressed because you get lost. Your soul gets lost.
I remember over the summer, after I left here, I went back to Portland, and I kind of I lost track of this feeling for a little bit, just because it was a lot going back to America, and there was a heavy consciousness there, like around the pandemic and everything, and I kind of lost it, and
Lost the connection.
I somehow, like, you just sent me a message like, "Oh, how are you doing?" And I think I shared I was feeling a bit depressed, and I remember your answer. You were like, "How could you be depressed after all my medicine?" It was like I had failed you. You're like, "I can't believe she's depressed. What's going on?" I can't help her. And it didn't last long. Like, it was a good reminder that
You get kind of it. I mean, it's like the thing is,
it's hard out there. You haven't left Peru, man.
No, I know.
You don't know what's going on out there. It's not pretty.
Well, I'm aware. I'm reading news.
Not the same.
Not the same. No, but that's the thing. It's not like, it's not like you never fall into, darkness. You can. It's not like a guaranteed thing. You drink the medicine and you never fall. The thing is like how fast you come back to yourself. It's like, does it take you a moment or does it take you a week?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that. It's like when you connect to yourself, of course you still can have a bad day.
Yeah.
You still can get angry and frustrated and maybe feel low sometimes. It's okay to just be human, But how fast you coming back to your center? How fast you remember? How soon you remember that it's not you?
Yeah.
And it's just that your mind kind of tricked you a bit
Exactly.
into it. It's like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not me.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah.
How soon you get back to yourself?
Yeah.
That's the question. And of course, the more medicine you do, the more emotional memory of being and connectedness and presence you create, which becomes easy to recall it at will.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, because when I was back in Portland, it was like I was sort of falling back into my old way of being, which was just kind of being groundless, nomadic, wandering, not having a plan. That was how I lived for many years. And what shifted for me in Peru was I just realized the life that I want to build is a lot more grounded, is more purposeful, is in one location. So I was just able to make that shift because, to a certain degree, our external lifestyle can impact our internal world. Of course, we can do the work and make ourselves happy anywhere, but in that situation, I realized that it made more sense for me to return to Peru and get grounded and find a home and continue this path because that was just a lifestyle that aligned more for where I was at. I was done nomading, I was done wandering, and that shift, it was like helping get back into
Mishka, come on.
Birthday girl, come in the video.
Birthday girl.
Come say hi.
Come say hi. Who?
Do we come in?
Open.
I love your boots. She's so cute.
My baby, 11 years old.
11.
Very beautiful.
Oh my gosh, I need some style lessons.
Cool.
She's got some cute clothes. I need some anyway. Yeah, so long story short, I felt like the medicine work just kind of clicked me more into place with who I am becoming, and just the way I want to be living. It's all connected, the internal, the external. It was a good shift to return back to Peru. I was really proud of myself. I made it happen in one day because I thought I might not get back. And I was like, wow, I'm really serious about being back here. So
in this world, you don't know.
yeah, it feels good to be committed to something. It feels like a place I have a lot to learn, and it feels very, the Sacred Valley is a very magical place. I feel very held by
No, relax.
by special energy here. So the journey continues.
So how was the last ceremony with us after 6 months? Reconnecting. How was the reunion, Huachuma reunion in the Huachuma Wasi? Goles, relax. Goles, сюда иди. Espera un ratito. Siente 5 minutos, descansa, ¿ya? Vamos a terminar. Relax.
Yeah.
Amor, ven acá. My baby. He's my baby.
Mira.
Okay.
Oh,
My
Sergey's
baby.
kids are the
You want to
cutest
come?
things in the whole world.
I want to introduce you to everybody who will see. That's my daughter, and she today she's turning 11.
What is it? Oh, pizza pequeña,
Oh, pizza! That's what we're going to eat very soon. Come here. That's my little pequeña.
Espera, voy a
Come here.
cocinar.
Yeah, un ratito.
pizza. Pizza para un
Ay,
niño.
bonita de-
It's so cute.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Mom. I'm proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
Like your
And
jeans.
Mama, careful. I cut this in the back. In the back. Yeah. So
Yeah, good question. How was my last ceremony here?
yeah. We
Yeah.
need to wrap it up
We need
because
to wrap
the
it
guy's
up.
waiting.
We need to wrap it up.
Wrap
Wrap it up. What time we got?
How was it for you?
Oh yeah, we do. My last ceremony here was amazing. Yeah, so I left here in July, and I have had Huachuma in between. This is my first Huachuma back with
Back,
you
yeah.
at Huachuma Wasi.
After 6 months, 5.
After 6 months being here. Yeah. Yeah, it was really amazing. I mean, just first of all, coming back just felt like home. It felt the energy here just was very familiar to me. And but yeah, I felt in the ceremony, I felt the changes in myself. I felt the growth that I've had, not only here, but then since here. From July to now, I felt the growth that I've had in my heart, and this felt like a continuation, you know? It's like medicine work is always has a gift and an important process and a message for you. You know, every ceremony I feel like every ceremony has a jewel, or at least one, sometimes many, but sometimes there's just like that one special thing that you take away, and it's a continuing growth path, right? Like whether I'm in Peru, whether I'm somewhere else, whether I'm drinking Huachuma here or on my own or somewhere, it's like it's all building me into who I'm becoming. And so yeah, the ceremony was amazing. The medicine was absolutely fuerte. And yeah, it was really cool to revisit my process here. I felt like I had a new perspective on those many months, and yeah, it just like replugged me back into the path as a whole. Like yeah, coming full circle. I love the energy of cycles. You know, it's just how our universe works. We work in cycles.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, I respect yearly cycle.
Yeah. So that, and
I
it was
celebrate
cool.
yearly cycle.
Yeah. It was cool that this cycle was really like a full year. I mean, we crossed over a little bit in December, but it was basically like 2021. That's a wrap. We did it. Yeah. So, thanks for inviting me back. It was powerful, and yeah, really grateful to have had this experience. Nobody ever better beat my record. 6.5 months.
You know, the 80 ceremony
Something like that.
of strong black medicine.
It wasn't all strong black medicine.
Yeah, it was actually
It was
both
not.
light and strong.
It was. Yeah. It was both.
Well, no, you did great, and you know, all this will take years for this to unfold.
I know.
You know, it's literally years. Yeah. You grow through it, and you become more, and you understand more, and you feel more. You just become more yourself. That's how I feel myself, and that's what the beauty is. You know, from all the insights, all the interesting, entertaining things that was after for many years, and I'm still enjoying it very much. But from above all this, it's just that simple feeling of being yourself.
Yeah.
That is the most satisfying.
Yeah.
You know, just being real,
Absolutely.
being you, and live your life from that space.
More courage, more
You know?
boldness, more passion. That's how I feel. I feel like this new light is sparked in me of just like going to go for my dreams and my passions.
That's the
and
drive. You know?
Yeah.
That's the fuel
it's like,
within
why
yourself.
not? Especially now. Why not? Live. Do the things, you know, trust your intuition, follow your heart.
Of course. That's exactly the message.
That would be
you
my
know?
message for the world. You know?
Beautiful,
Trust
beautiful.
yourself.
So you want to say something to our viewers who will watch this and will think, you know, should I go to Peru, drink some medicine while planes are still flying?
Get to Peru. Get to Peru. Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, like I said, I think the message is do what it takes to know yourself more deeply and feel yourself more deeply, and listen, you know, and if you feel a calling, if you hear this video, or if you feel, you know, the energy of Huachuma and feel a draw, like listen to that, you know, and if you don't, then that's fine, like listen to that, but you are your own teacher, you are your own guide, and plant medicine can help expand that even more, so you can begin living more boldly and more yourself. I'm working on a book, and I would love you all to read it when it's done. Boom, that's my plug.
All right,
We might
I
have to
will
wait.
put your podcast in the description so people can
Okay, yeah,
follow you.
yeah, and then once the
Alright.
book is published, the link will be there,
Then you're
so
right.
it'll be.
And that will be an
out
interesting
there.
book. It's
You'll
about
probably be in it
your
somewhere.
time here. Partially.
Partially, yeah.
Partially, yeah.
Yeah, it's unfolding.
Well, hopefully we'll see this book in this reincarnation.
In this carnation, this incarnation. Not the next life, this life.
And this one.
Thank you for the push.
Yeah.
First thing he says to me in my ceremony this time, "Where is your book? Where is your book?"
Or is it?
Sometimes we just need a friendly nudge. That's all we need.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kristy, it was
Thanks.
great having you back, and
Yeah.
you know, all the best for you from here
Thank you.
forward, and let's enjoy the birthday party.
Yes. Let's
All right.
do it. Pizza time.
Pizza time. All right.
Ciao,
Thank you,
guys.
guys. All the best from Peru.
Ciao, ciao.